Hi guys, welcome back to Handmade with Tara. This is Tara. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and a stay-at-home mom of 3 beautiful boys. And one of them is in the next room, so if he makes a little bit of noise, I will apologize now. I'll try to get through this as fast as I can. This is a sneak peek of the Taco Fiesta that's coming in the new January to April mini catalog. So this is the mini catalog here. And if you'd like a copy, please shoot me an email at handmadewithtara@gmail.com and I will get your information and I can send you a catalog. And this is the celebration catalog. So pretty much starting in January, when you spend $50 or more, you get free celebration items, which could be stamp sets or paper or other things. And then I will also just quickly tap on that this annual catalog is still live until April 2023, and this is the annual catalog. They come out with a new one every single year, and it has all the current stamp sets that are already available, and it also talks about the paper pumpkin boxes, and that's a subscription box. This is for beginners. So if you are new to Stampin' Up! Or you haven't heard about it, or you're not as familiar with it, or you're new and you want to try something and you're like paper crafting, Paper Pumpkin Box is a great place to start. They have a subscription that starts as where you can do it pay as you go, or you can do 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or a 12-month subscription for that. So in the Paper Pumpkin Box that just came, for instance, that's this one. I just did a tutorial with this one where I made little boxes. So in here are the little boxes that we were able to make with this Paper Pumpkin Box. Sometimes it's cards, sometimes it's boxes, sometimes it's other things. So these are the cute little boxes that I just made. And they come with everything inside, so it's a one-stop box, has the stamps, ink that you need. Your very first box will come with a block, so you don't even, and when I say a block, I mean like a Stampin' Up! Block where you can stick your photopolymer or your cling stamps right to this and then stamp away. So that is all of that. Again, if you want a new catalog, I am happy to mail you one. And or if you would like to join my team, we have a lot of fun. We make a lot of projects. We do a lot of stuff together. So please, if you're interested in that, send me an email about that. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into Taco Fiesta. And I have 3 projects for you. And we're going to start with, let's start with this one. All right, so here is the first card. Super cute. It says, "Holy guacamole, it's your birthday." All right, and I'm just going to show you how I made this. And starting off with all of the measurements you need in order to make this card. So, and what I did with this one, which I'm probably going to change up, is this background paper is a So Saffron color, which I think I'm going to change to a Pale Papaya, which matches this a little bit better. So let's see. So these are like how I organize my kits here. Let me just give you the measurements. So you have all of those, and then you can feel free to pause the video, write down the measurements so that you can make your cuts, and then you are able to stamp along with me. And like I said, I think I'm going to use this. So I have these 2 colors. This is what I used, but this matches this. So I think I'm going to use this one this time. So, and then this is the measurement for that. So these are all the measurements that you need. And you can pause the video if you need to. This is the sequence pastel adhesive backed sequins. I use these. Pastel adhesive back sequins. Okay, and then I also used this paper, which is the Desert Vibes, I think. Let me grab it. I knew I was going to forget something. All right. Delicate Desert 12 by 12 series paper. So it looks like this. So, and then you want to just cut down these 3 are all the same paper. And then this is just a basic white cardstock, and then this is Pale Papaya. So, and all of these will coordinate together. So freeze frame that, and I'm gonna go ahead and start building it now. So I'm just going to pop these off and save those so that I can make it again if I need to. Oh my God, my son is playing in his little playpen, and he is so happy, just tinkering away in there. He's very busy, very on the mission. All right. So the first thing you do is you want to cut your cardstock and score it down the middle. So that's 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pale papaya and we're going to get stamping. So in the Taco Fiesta, I'm going to grab this one right here, these chips. And I'm using my D block for, I think all these projects tonight. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp that, and I'm going to use we'll see if this works, crushed curry ink. Because I thought that was a good chip ink, but I don't know, with the pale papaya, we might have to change that up. So let's just see if it turns up and go from there. So what I did was I just went around the edges. Oh yeah, you can totally see that. I went, and I just kind of kept moving the chips so that they made a little chip ring, if you will, all the way around, like this. Like this. Okay, so now you have your chip ring, and the next step that you can do is you always want to have your Simply Chamois. You clean that off, and going to put those chips back over here. And then the next step is I'm going to take this piece that is the delicate desert paper. So this is also, I believe, from the new catalog, the new mini catalog. We're going to use the dies that came with this corresponding set, and the dies are super fun. The Desert Vibes looks like this. These are the desert detail dies. And I'm going to use this die right here. So all of these products are new products. This is a sneak peek for the newest catalog that's coming out on January 5th. So thought it would be fun to do this one last tutorial and finish off my 2022 stamping year with a tutorial. Sorry, I just had something stuck in there. So I'm going to use this die, and I'm going to run this through my embossing machine. So my embossing machine is super clunky and big. I don't have the tiny one, so I don't move it for my tutorials. I just put it on here with the die on top, run it through, and then go from there. Oops. And of course I just bumped my camera. So then, once you run it through your embossing machine, you're left with the piece that looks like this. And now that coordinates this delicate desert paper. This has pale papaya in it. And so it will match up better with this cardstock here than it did with the other one that I used on the first card. So, like so. And then, since I already have my die machine out, I'm going to go ahead and do one more. I actually did a little one like this with this die, which obviously I still have things in here. Let me go ahead and clean this really fast. All right. And what I did with this one was I used this sheet right here, and I put that on there. So this is the 2x2. of the delicate dessert. And I'm going to run that through the embossing machine too while I have it out and ready to go. And so that's ready to go. These scraps you can keep or toss. And that's the only other die that I needed from this set. So again, this is Sneak Peek, new catalog, desert details. Super cool. All right, so then the next step is we're going to go ahead and attach these two. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And put that right in the middle of that pale papaya with the chip background, just like so. All right. Let's see. Since I bumped my camera, let me try to fix that. Okay. So, all right, now the next step is we're going to use this piece right here. It's going to actually go on the inside of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on the inside with my multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to just do one little line because we don't want glue coming out either side. And then this one's going to go right here on the inside of your card. And you can slide it up or down however you like it. And then this little piece is going to go right over top. So you can do it on this side or this side or whatever, but I kind of like this color variation. So I'm going to do it on this side like that. So that just makes the inside of the card a little bit more interesting. And then if it hangs off at all, on the side, you can come behind and trim that up a little bit. So, and that was the piece that was 5 1/2. So the length of the card, 5 1/2 by 1 inch. Or 1/2 inch, I think it was, is what I did here. I think that's 1/2 inch. Sorry, I think I wrote 1 inch, but it's 1/2. So that's the inside. And now this part is going to go on the outside here. So you can use your liquid glue here. Like that. And you can attach to the front of your card. So just make sure that this card is facing the right way here. So, and there should just be a little tiny bit of rim there. Oh, you can hear my poor baby. He's got a little cough. He's got a little cough left over. All right. So that's all set and ready to go. So the next part is this little this isn't 2 by 2. This is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. So that's going to be this piece. And we're going to use that crushed curry again. And we're going to come back over it with a blending brush, which I thought I grabbed out. Oh, I guess I used it. I did use it. I used it on another project. I'll use it on another project today. So start off the paper with these blending brushes. You start off the paper like this until it gets like a smooth color, a smooth variation of the color. And then we're going to just bring it onto the card like this, all the way around. Like I just did the edges. I kind of left the middle alone. And like that, just to give it some crushed curry, which I did that originally, I think, to match up with the color of the paper. I might have used pale papaya on this one, but this, it's fine. I think it'll still look good. Let's see. Let's stamp and see. So this set does not, unfortunately, come with dies to cut out each individual image. So I tried to not have to do a lot of fussy cutting, which is like cutting around tiny images. So I'm going to use the avocado. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. So holy guacamole, it's your birthday. That'll help me gauge where I put the rest of everything. And that's my little baby Hunter. He just turned 1 on the 28th. Okay, so as long as you can see it through your stamp like that, you are good to go. Stamp it right in the middle, like that. Clean this off with your chamois. Put that back, and we're gonna move on to the avocado now. So get that on there. We're gonna go ahead and, here, let's see if I can get you closer. There we go. Closer look here. Holy guacamole, we're gonna stamp that right there on the side. And I'm going to move on. I did the little lime slice right here. Right like that. And I did a little pepperoni like this. That's the last piece right there. And then I did a little bowl of guacamole like this. I do light taps and boom, like that. And then I have to add cute little faces because this set comes with like super duper cute faces. We're gonna do the, don't touch that please. We're gonna use this face for the little guacamole bowl. Can you see it, Wyatt?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna use, please don't do that.
I just did.
Please don't. Thank you. Then we're gonna do this face for the avocado, just like that. And then the last part here, we're going to just use some blends to color them in. So I use dark olive, light and dark old olive for the avocado and for the avocado dip. The guacamole. Can you see why?
Yeah, I want to see.
Okay. Please don't mess with that. Please don't mess with that, baby.
I can't make it go backwards.
Please don't mess with that while I'm doing this. If you don't mind. Please.
I have to drink. Oh, I barely get it back like it was.
Alright. And
Don't even try because you never turn that door. Yeah.
And I'm gonna use this dark old olive for this piece here. And that part's done. And then I use this dark, or I think I actually used a light smoky slate for the avocado bowl here, or the guacamole bowl here.
What's inside the...
And then I use the dark parakeet party for the lime. And one more color I used, or actually two, it looks like I used Evening Evergreen. This is light Evening Evergreen I used for this little pepper. And this rind. Wyatt. And I use this is dark soft suede for the middle of the avocado and the little stem right there. So let me set those aside. So the next part is I'm going to just pop that up on dimensionals, and stick it to my card. So I have some mini dimensionals here. So I'm just going to stick these on the back like this. Okay, the dimensionals are like double-sided sticky tape. So I just want to make sure I remove all of the thing, and then I can attach this to the middle again of the card here. And then the last thing, I want to add a touch of bling. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool. So that's this one, and I'm just going to add a little bit of sequins. And you can just add them wherever you like. One up here, and maybe, ooh, that one's flying away. Maybe one down. Maybe I'm just gonna move that up a little bit, like that. All right, so that's card number 1. Holy guacamole, it's your birthday. And then that's a cute little insert. So you can add more on the inside if you wanted to, but let's move on to the second card. So then you can see side-by-side comparison, like the color background. So I don't know, it looks good both ways, but I don't know, I like them both. It's too hard to tell. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside. We'll come back and I'll pull them all back out later. So that was card number 1. So card number 2 is a fun fold card. And let me show you. So this is card number 2. It says, "You spice up my life." It's got all these really fun peppers and the little pepper guy right here. And it opens like this. Okay. So again, I'm going to show you all the measurements so you can go ahead and make your cuts if you'd like to stamp along with me. And this is from the gingham paper. So this is obviously an advanced workshop, right? This is for people who love to stamp, who have all the stuff, who are, have all the paper and want to stamp all the time. And that could definitely be you. I could show you the way. You could join my team. We could do it together. It's so much fun. If you love paper crafting. All right, so let's go ahead, write down all of these measurements and these cardstocks. This is real red. This is the gingham paper, real red, basic black, basic white. There we go. I think that. All right, now you can see all of the measurements. So all of my measurements are in inches. So it's 2 3/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. Okay. So once you have those, we're just going to start building the card. I'm going to show you the way. Again, I'm just going to, this is my card base. So, and then it is scored. Oh, I forgot to write down the score. So I believe it's scored at 3. But let me double check. Hold on. Scored at 2.5. So this is scored at 2 1/2. I almost missed that one. All right. So that is the base. Then the next layer, we're going to go ahead and add them as we go. So that is this red, the real red, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. All right. So we're just going to add a little bit of liquid glue, like this, and add this one onto the card base. Like so. So there's a little bit of black rim all the way around. The next step, this is 3 by 5 scored at 3. So this is 3 by 5 scored at 3. Like that. And then you want the longer side. So there's 2 sides, a short side and a long side. You want the longer side facing up. So we're going to go ahead and add this piece here. We're going to just put glue on the inside here. And this one's going to attach like this. So you're going to be able to see a little tiny bit of red. And you push that down. The next one is our insert. This is 5 1/4 by 4. Remember, all these measurements are in inches. And we're gonna add this one. So this one is a lot of cuts, a lot of measuring, a lot of really, but it makes for a beautiful card. When you do all that extra work, you always end up with a really cool design. So again, when you're attaching, just be careful that you have a little bit of red all the way around, and then so it's starting to come together, just like that. And then we're going to put this one on top, which I think I may be, oh, okay, there. I'm like, ooh, I'm missing a piece. Hold on, hopefully. All right, so this is the gingham, and this is a garden green. It's 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. All right, and you can use either side, so it doesn't really matter. So we're just gonna use this side, and this is gonna go, oh, I'm lying. Oh, I almost missed a step. The 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. Hopefully I did that too fast, and like you are not going as fast as me, and you didn't make that same mistake. So this part goes on first. The red's on the bottom. And we're gonna attach that first to that outside part. And hopefully using the liquid glue helps me to where I can move it around, so I have a little bit of wiggle room. If you use Stampin' Seal, it's not as forgiving here. Once it's down, so it does work well with the liquid glue. All right, so lots of layers. And then again, we're gonna do red first. So this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Add this piece like this. And this. And if I'm going too fast, please feel free to stop the video or rewatch the video. I am trying to hustle because I have little people at any time that can just not be as cooperative, right? Okay, so this is the last and final piece. So this is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and it's on basic white. And on this one, we're gonna do the fun stamping. So we're gonna grab that D block again, and I'm gonna start with my sentiment again. And the sentiment I used was, "You spice up my life." And you can stamp this in Memento Tuxedo Black. Or you could also do it in the Real Red, Garden Green, one of the other colors that match up with this card. So you spice up my life. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right down the middle because I want to decorate around it. Clean that off with my chamois. And I'm gonna grab the biggest pepper first. Get that stamped on there. Boom. And I'm gonna give him a face. He definitely needs a face, right? So we're gonna give him a little mustache. Just like that. Beautiful. Uh-oh. Poor little buddy. All right, and then the last part here for this one is I'm gonna do my little peppers, and I'm gonna just kind of do them all around in every which way on this card. So I'm gonna flip-a-roo, and I'm gonna flip-a-roo. Maybe another one up there, like that's what I'm gonna do this way. this way, this way. Oops, make sure your ink's not in the way here. Flip it again, this way, and then you get the idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly color in these. So I used the 3 colors that I used. These are blends: dark shaded spruce for the green, bronze for the stems, and I used the dark real red for the other ones. So, because I thought it made a really pretty, so you can go ahead and color those in. If you don't want to watch me color, you can fast forward through this part. And while you're watching me, if you're watching me, you can always like and subscribe to my channel for new videos. I try to do one big class like this once a month, one big tutorial for advanced stampers, and then I try to do one beginner series paper pumpkin once a month tutorials. And obviously I can always add in more here or there if I come across a question or something that I think would be valuable to share. I think I'm going to do, one of my next videos will probably be what the top couple of tools. I'm trying to think if I should do top 5 or top 10 of the best tools to use for Stampin' Up, because the tools are important, especially if you're an avid stamper who are stamping all the time. Then you know that you need special tools to help you on every single project. And so I thought that that might be a fun little tutorial, like mini series tutorial to do, so that if you are getting started and you're really enjoying it, you can just check out that video to know exactly what tools would be good to have all the time. All right, and the last one I used is this bronze. So I really like these blends because they're like a paintbrush, so they just like paint on so nicely, so easily here. Look at that, super cute. And this part we're just going to attach right to the front, and I didn't use dimensionals on this card just because there's already so many layers, so I didn't feel like it needed to be popped up, but you can definitely pop it up if you wanted to. You could even stamp these on another paper and pop these out on dimensionals if you wanted to. I just chose to make it easier since they do not have dies for the set, at least not yet. For all these little things, it takes a long time to fussy cut out. But this is card number 2. So this is done and super cute. I love the little face fun fold. So obviously you can do something on the inside if you want to, but be mindful when you are writing on the inside because there is some spots that you could definitely see through. So that's card number 2. And I go ahead and set this aside. And we're gonna go jump right to card number 3. So card number 3, this is the only card that I did fussy cutting on. So this is card number 3. So it's a spectacular card. All right, and I use that sequence again, so bringing that back in. I used some new dies on this one, some die cuts. I used the taco, and this is the only fussy cutting that I did. But this is also a top to bottom open card. So this is the next one. I'm going to show you the measurements for this one. So this one's the easiest as far as measurements goes. So I used all basic white. And here are the measurements. If you want to go ahead and pause the video and write those down, you can make this card along with me. All right. So I'm going to set this card base aside. That'll be the last thing that I get to. And then I'm going to start with this 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to get my blending brushes for this one so I can create that pattern in the background. So what I did was I start with your lightest color. So for me, it's Daffodil Delight. I'm going to get my Daffodil Delight, start over here until it gets nice and even. I'm picking up some of my, and then you can bring that up over the card like that. All right, so that is Daffodil Delight and a blending brush. And then I used Calypso Coral was the next color because I thought that looked, I just think this one looks like a sunset. So get it over here, start it off, and then I'm going to bring it towards the middle of the card here, the middle of the paper here. And I just do circular motions. I give it a little bit of pressure. The more pressure you give, the darker that it is. And I'm just gonna work my way up. And then I used Real Red. So this is Real Red. And blending brush. Again, I'm going to start off of my paper first, and then I'm gonna work my way up to it. So circular motions just to connect all of the colors, and the harder you push, so if I push a little bit harder, you can see the color will get a little darker. So that's done, and it adds that really beautiful ombre looking design. Okay. Set those aside, and then so the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to use some dies. So on this one, I used my scalloped contour dies. So the scalloped contour dies right here, and they look like this, okay? And I used this die right here. Right here. On this one, and I just kind of put it over to the edge like that, and then I'm going to do it right down through the die cutting machine. So put that on your die cutting machine, kind of placement all the way over to the right side, run it through your embossing machine, which again, I told you I don't move my embossing machine. It stays on the edge of my desk, but it makes this beautiful. And then there's that piece left over that you can use on other projects if you want, or you can just toss it. So, or you can even put it on the inside of the card if you like the way that it looks. You can do it like as an inside. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then next thing, I'm gonna keep these out because I actually used this one as well. So this die right here is what I used on this 3 by 4 and 1/4. So 3 by 4 1/4. And then I'm gonna put this over like this, and I'm gonna run this through the die cutting machine. My embossing embossing machine. And then, so now I put that on top of here and it makes this really beautiful cutout for me. So now I'm done with these dies and I can set these aside. And again, you can save this piece or you can toss it if you don't need it. And the next thing that I did here was I went ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my tacos on here. So that's what I use this pumpkin pie for. So the pumpkin pie fits right in with the beautiful sunset I made over here. So, and what I did was I did spectacular. Spectacular. And stamp, stamp, stamp. Ink, ink, ink. And then I just did it right at the bottom of that. Just like that. So, clean this off. And close this up. And set that aside. And then what we're going to end up doing is putting this on here like this. But what I want to do is I want to stamp the rest of this first. So I'm going to stamp my tacos. And I use the Memento Black for this portion. Oh my goodness. My son's making a lot of noise over there. All right, so you can start at the top or the bottom. So I kind of started, when I started at the bottom, and I kind of did them like catty-cornered. So I did 1, and then I did 2, because it's spectacular, so we have to do lots of tacos. 2, and last one at the top, that's 3. And I just kind of did it like that. And then clean off your taco stamp. And then we're gonna add a little face on each of my tacos, right? So we're gonna do all the different faces. So they have just a smiley face. They have a winky face. Winky face. And let's do this one. Fun face. All right. So, and since I still have this ink pen out, I'm going to take this one here. That's 1 1/2. 1 1/2 by 2. 1 1/2 by 2. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my cactus on this one. So I did the cactus. Like that. And clean off your stamp. And then grab another face. So I actually really like for the cactus to have a mustache, because that's fun. Placement matters on this mustache. Okay, so you want to make sure that it lines up with like his little cactus arms, so that when you cut him out, you don't cut his mustache. Just like that. And then we'll clean that off. And then I like to add a little sombrero to his head. So this is what's really cool about these stamps. These are photopolymer stamps, so you're able to see through, and I can line that up so that it's directly on his head. Perfect. Oops. All right, so now we're done with this stamping. Put all the stamps away. Those are good to go. And the next step we're going to do is we're going to color these, both of these. We're going to color, and then we're going to fussy cut. So take your snips, and we're going to actually cut all the way around the little guy here. Why I can't think of his name. This little cactus. This cactus. So then it's going to end up looking something like this. So If you have to pause the video here, pause it so that you can color in your cactus and cut him out. So you can go ahead and do that. All right, because that's what you're going to end up with here. And then also you're going to use a couple of blends. So I have a couple of blends here. So this is light grainy apple green. I use this for the lettuce on the tacos. And this one you're just gonna have to watch me. I only fussy cut that out ahead of time because just for the sake of time. So I didn't have to make the video too long. Sometimes you lose audiences that way, right? Again, if you're new here, I'm Handmade with Tara and stay-at-home mom, demonstrator. Love what I do. Love, love, love paper crafting. Paper crafting, it is my jam. And I have an amazing team. We stamp together. We talk about everything under the sun. So this is what I used for, this is the pale papaya, dark pale papaya. I use this for the sombrero. And I use this light real red for the sombrero as well. And then, so for me, I used this black because I didn't quite measure and match that up perfectly. But if you measure that perfectly, you won't have a little spot there that you have to add black. So, and then I used the dark and light grainy apple green for the cactus. And then lastly, I'm going to use this light so saffron and dark so saffron for the actual tacos. There we go. So, and these blends, they go on like a paintbrush. It's so easy to make some projects. And I am going to have to grab that light real red again, or dark real red, whichever one I have. I think it's the light one. Real red, so that I can color in my tomatoes I forgot about. That's 2. And 3. Blends go on so nice and evenly. You can't see a lot of markings. And then see how there's like some little specks over here. I always like to darken those up a little bit with the dark of the same. So this is dark so saffron. Darken up those little lines. And then you can do a little bit on the other side just to add some like shading if you want. Just a little bit. And actually, lastly, real red, we're going to do these tomatoes. Tomato, 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 and boom. All done. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to attach this to our card base here, and you can use the glue or you can use dimensionals if you wanted to pop that up, but let me show you why I didn't use dimensionals, because I did it right like that, and then I just added it to this, the middle of this card here, like that. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of twine. So I have this pack of twine. It's 3 twine combo pack. It comes with Coastal Cabana, Garden Green, and Pumpkin Pie. Obviously, I'm going to use the pumpkin pie. And I did this a couple of times. So I measured it up to the second bump here. And then I go all the way around. Baby, I'm making a video. I'm making a video, baby. That's my husband. And I'm going to add this. Guys, I'm making a video. Please be quiet. Almost done, guys. Going to add this like this. Cute little bow. Oh, my buddy, he's getting tired. And then I kind of move this so it's all the way on one side, just like that. And then you can make the bow however you like. And then you can trim this up with some snips. Like that. Oh, and the length that I use, I just went around twice. I just guessed here. Probably about 80 centimeters. Or I guess if I was doing inches, I don't know. I don't know what that would be. But that's the front. And then the last thing I did was I popped this little guy up on a dimensional, like here and here. And I stuck that on this top corner here, just like that. Awesome. And then lastly, I'm gonna grab this card base that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. That is the last part. So make sure that it opens at the top. And then we're gonna adhere this right here, and you can use the Stampin' Seal. You can use the glue. The glue, I told you, is more forgiving. All right. If you want to make sure it's perfectly square on here, I start at the bottom and I work my way up, just like that. And that, we're gonna add our final gems. And so what I did was I just added one of each color. So I did a gold down at the bottom, I did a pink kind of in the middle where it's pinkish, and then I did a blue right, I'm gonna do a blue right there. And that is card number 3. So I'll bring them all back now. So that's 1. That's 2. And lastly, this one is 3. So let's see how we can set that. So those are the 3 designs that I had for you in this workshop. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll try to do at least one tutorial every single month with a new stamp set that's from the current catalog. This is actually a sneak peek preview for the catalog for next month that starts on January 5th. Please look for that coming up soon. And again, thank you for watching and joining me, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.